Hello, 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 hello. Marcy Ben from Think Premium JA here. I'm back in association with IslandNet because, we offer sales connector services to that company. Back with some more signs as to why you need a new server. Now, picking up where we left off, we mentioned some signs that could indicate that you need a new server for your business. Could be performance issues. So, your current server is struggling to manage the workload and it's unresponsive very often. It could also be a case where you have outdated hardware. Your hardware is so outdated that the manufacturer no longer supports it and you're running out of storage. It really could be a sign that you need a new server. But let's talk about some other signs. For one, security concerns. What people don't realize with your server is that it actually is very crucial in helping with your company's cybersecurity. A lot of persons take that for granted, as a matter of fact. And with servers, they actually store very important information that businesses and individuals use. Now, and this is according to Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, protecting servers actually help to ensure your data privacy. They help to ensure accuracy of your data and also availability. And where you're securing your servers are concerned, it's not just physical security, but we're talking network security as well, ensuring your operating system's good too. And you also want to pay attention to the fact that where your server really shines is in sharing data, as well as allowing it to share resources and distribute work across your network. So a server computer, it can, servers can really just be software as well. It doesn't have to be a physical computer. It actually, how can I put this? It helps with the flow of information across your network, and it allows different devices to be able to transmit information to each other, because the server is there in the middle, receiving, storing, and sharing the data. Now, you have different types of servers. You might see web servers, and you might see that on a lot of websites, for instance, mention web servers. You have print servers, file servers, mail servers, application servers, and so many more. And that's from like study.com. Now, 4 different things that your server by right can do is it helps to store, process, and deliver requested information or web pages to end users, right? So we have all that part clear. And that's from solarwinds.com in case you want to check it out. But imagine if your server is not working properly. If your server is not working properly, then you're going to have security issues, because if it's not receiving security updates, because whether it's a software or a computer, it still needs to get updates in order to work, right? If it's not receiving updates, then it is vulnerable to attacks. And that means it's time to get a more secure solution, because how information is being transmitted across your network is now being compromised, because anyone can intercept at any point and cause issues. And as I said before, some great ways in which you can protect your server is encrypting your data, ensuring that your sensitive data is encrypted, putting some physical security in place, like for example, not allowing people to plug in flash drives into the server computer. It's usually a good place to start. Maybe even having some, the wire locks that you see on phones in phone stores, depending on where it is. If it's a physical computer, you may want to put that there so people don't, steal a server. That's something that can happen. And, also some network security as well. You definitely want to put in some protocols to protect the server. Just things like that. Because if your server goes down, it really can spell bad news for your entire network, to be very honest, because it's that big central hub that is collecting and distributing information to everybody. So an attack on your server is a very big issue. Another thing is that if your server is unreliable, like it's crashing very regularly, it's experiencing a lot of downtime, then you really should get a new server. Because as I said before, going back to what a server should be doing, like sharing data as well as sharing resources and distributing work across the network. Like for example, you having several printers on a network, your servers routing your print jobs to the different printers. That's an opportunity for, if your server is not working properly, for things like that to not work so well. And I'm just giving an example with printing. What if we're talking about things like your antiviruses or your firewall? If your server's not working correctly, you know, that can cause serious issues. So you definitely want to pay attention to when things like that start going wrong with your server. And you have different server rules, you know, do remember that. So I just gave you one example, but it's just to highlight just how important it is, especially where let's say a server being unreliable can really cause some serious issues. But just bear in mind though that a server can have like 250 roles, and that's according to discord.com. So you know, many servers can even, you have some of them that can go beyond 250 roles, but you know, they often, they can be a little overpowered, and depending on, I'm trying to find the right words for this, but depending on the operating program and the physical setup of the server, it can limit just how much you can use it for. But you can actually get up to 250 uses from your server that's working correctly. And if that part of your network is not working correctly, then it's an issue, because again, servers act as the central hubs that store, process, and distribute vital information. So actually, you know, servers are prime targets for cyber attacks. So that's something to pay attention to. Another thing as well is increased workload. Now, if your business has grown, like let's say you started off your business with 2 people and now you're at 20 people, you know, your current server might be under a lot of pressure with that increased workload. And depending on what these people are doing, your server might not be able to handle that increased workload. And it might be time to upgrade to a more powerful server. So for example, let's say you move from 2 people to now having 20 people. And a given day, all 20 people are using the internet at the same time. 15 out of the 20 people are having Zoom meetings, whether they're presenting or they're attending the classes online or whatever it is that they're doing. These people are running graphics, so they're designing posters, flyers, editing videos. They're also running YouTube. I mean, I think with YouTube, how much megabytes you need to run a YouTube video? But it just shows that if you have so many people, you know, after a while your server going to go under pressure, you know, so you really should think about upgrading your server as your business grows. So you do want to pay attention to that, because I mean, the average sustained speed for YouTube, according to highInternet.com, if you're watching like HD 1080 pixel videos, then you need at least 5 solid megabytes per second to run that. Now, you definitely want to have like your server prioritizing, you know, how information flows throughout the network, and just understand that where bandwidth prioritization is concerned, your firewall helps with that, you know. But in terms of sharing information across the network, your server helps with that. So if your server's not working properly, then it does cause serious issues. So you should pay attention to that, because after a while the performance is going to slow down. So sometimes you might think that, oh, the internet provider moving slow, when you probably just don't have a server in place, or the server that you have is woefully outdated, because your server was there when you had 2 people and now you have 20 people and you have changed nothing. And you know, many businesses don't even have a server. Yeah, think about that. Many businesses don't have proper IT infrastructure. So if you don't have anything in place managing the flow of traffic throughout your network, then you must expect that things aren't going to go as well. where that's concerned. I mean, let's be reasonable, right? Another thing is that, you know, software compatibility issues could be another reason why you might need another server. For instance, if you are experiencing compatibility issues with like newer software applications, it could just be a sign that your server old. Your server need to replace. Because if it's not compatible with a lot of applications that you're using now, that maybe that version of the server is just quite old. It's not a, you know, it's not necessarily that you have to get a physical computer. You can just get a software. You can maybe move to server software instead of maybe using a physical computer, depending on what your needs are. But you can always involve an IT technician as well. And you know, IslandNet, we do have our IT team. You know, we can do a Smarthands assessment to assess things like that. I mean, we tend to focus on our own stuff, but if you need to get help with your existing setup, I mean, of course it comes at a cost, but you can actually just book a Smarthands session and we can totally look into that for you, because it could just be a case where your server probably just won't update. You never know. Another thing as well that could be resulting in your company not having necessarily the best experience, where you know, where your servers are concerned, is that it's not energy efficient. Like, especially like the newer servers, they tend to be more energy efficient than older ones. So if you have a server that you've had in your business for like 5 years, you know, even refrigerators and AC units that are 5 years old, if they are not fitted with certain things, you notice that they won't say energy saver or inverter or energy efficient. And if you're going to compare it with a newer model, which many of the newer models tend to claim that they're energy efficient, or they claim that they're inverters, you know that there is going to be a marked difference with your utility bill. Your server's the same thing. I mean, many washing machines now are saying that they're energy efficient. Don't think that if you have a physical server, you're not going to notice the same energy efficiency issues as well. And you know, guess what? I'm not an IT technician. I do want to say this, and you know, what I'm saying here is not a reflection of my client, IslandNet, but I do want to say this. You do want to pay attention to things like that, because if you have things like a server in place in your business for quite some time, and you know how intensive, you know, servers are used throughout a network, I mean, don't skimp on things like that, because if you're gonna have your server on all the time, right, it's gonna run up your light bill, and that's gonna add to your operational costs. And as your business scales, I'm sure you want to keep your operational costs low, so you might want to think about things like that, right? And guess what? If you have any other questions, you know, IslandNet, we do offer Smarthands services, and we do equipment sales as well. So if you need to get a new server, or you need to get new routers, switches, PBX and IP handsets, you name it, reach out and send me a DM, and I'm more than happy to get you a quote on that. Anyway, I hope this helps you. Mars event again from Think Premium JA in association with IslandNet. If this video adds value to you, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Share it with somebody else that you think would gain value from it. And yeah, comment down below and say that servers are important. Yeah, comment down below and say that servers are important. Alright, have a wonderful day. Take care, and remember to never stop dreaming. Bye bye.